Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah podcast.
Crux proper.
Crux, yeah, man. What's going on? Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Here we are yet again, man, coming off a cool weekend. And I got one of my boys that I've been wanting to bring in here for a while. The one, the only, Stanktoe.
Man, it still cracks me up when I get announced as that.
Don't mistake it, dude. Don't mistake it, because you can't, because it's unique and it's unduplicatable.
Yeah,
What's up, man?
I got recognized 3 times the other day. One was even at work where I was running camera.
Yeah?
Is the same dude that runs sound at Twilight, runs sound at the TCU basketball game.
Oh, shit, really?
And he had a mask on, so I didn't recognize him. He came up, he's like, hey, man, I heard something about you last week. You got a stank toe. And I was like, oh, man, I thought I did something wrong. Because he's like,
I heard something about you.
I was like, uh-oh.
Right?
Lots of things. I didn't even know where to start, so.
Oh, yeah, dude. Well, yeah, man, thanks for coming down. And, yeah, man, I saw you last weekend at Dallas Comedy Club, man. I did a guest spot over there for the Classified Comedy Show. And you were over there taking mushrooms.
Yeah, I should have bought a ticket first. I thought I could just, open mic or walk-in style maybe, or get one of the, since I knew everybody on the show, be able to walk in. That didn't work, so we just took mushrooms. And then we're sitting at the bar watching the news, and there's so much noise going on, and I had to get out of there.
Yeah, I bought you and Colby, I got you a Red Bull, and I got him a Sprite.
Yeah, that's not the good thing to drink right after taking mushrooms. It messes with your stomach.
Does it? Dude, I haven't done mushrooms in so long.
Oh, yeah, they were pretty.
I remember how they fuck with your stomach the whole time.
Yeah.
But I don't know I never drank Red Bull with mushrooms, so I don't know.
It's not a good, I mean, it did taste delicious, but it's not a good combo for the tum-tum.
Yeah,
All the rumbling and the bubblers.
Oh, that makes sense, dude.
But
by the way, when you see me throughout the podcast, because you are one of the first, like I've done like 3 or I think you're like the 4th, like with all the multi cameras and shit. The first 2, Mike Trivia and Mike Bradshaw, those are like fucking experiments of me like getting my bearings with all the cameras and all the new setup and shit. Mm-hmm. But if you see me on my phone, it's only because I have to navigate all of this shit with my phone. So I'm not, no I'm checking the timer.
You're running the show.
You're not boring me. I'm not checking for updates.
You don't have a Jamie to pull it up yet.
I don't have anybody. I don't have a producer. I don't have anything. So I have to fucking literally navigate the whole thing on my phone.
My wife's holding the kid, so she won't.
Yeah, dude. No. Well, plus I don't want to fucking have to subject her to all this bullshit.
Oh, so. She'd be like, you're hanging out with this guy?
Not even that. Just not even suggest. Yeah, right.
You would though.
Nah, man. But yeah, dude. What's it called? Yeah, we're gonna get into some stories and we'll get into all that shit. Then we're gonna go over some clips. But yeah, man, thanks everybody for tuning in so far. With the new format and stuff. But yeah, man, what's it called? So how'd the night go? Like you guys left there, and then
it kind of sucked because we picked up Sean Santos and his lady and drove him out there. And then we couldn't get in, and they had already bought tickets.
Oh, I didn't know you drove him out there. Oh,
yeah, it was his birthday, and he was like planning on Uber. And anyways, he's like, I'm going to get hammered. So I got you. But then, I had to get out of there. All the bloops and the bleeps and the clinking glasses. I was like, I'm going to go to a more controlled environment, such as my house.
Dude, I
put on fuzzy clothes, and I'm going to watch what I want to watch. And, so that's what I did.
Dude, I couldn't even imagine. I feel it, because I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, you asked me, you're like, how do you drive on those? I was like, very carefully.
Yeah. Well, because the
lines are still the lines. There's just like 3 or 4 of them. You just stay in between all of them. It's
like the fucking video game, trying to say. Yeah. But see, that's the thing, dude. I couldn't imagine being in that is an intense environment, because I haven't taken them for a long time, but I took mushrooms like a bunch of times, back in the day.
This batch is kind of weak, and I didn't take too much, so
Well, I'm just saying, regardless of that, I feel what you're saying, because being in a place like that where there were tons of people, and like you said, like people drinking. And then
you go outside and it was way more calm and casual, but it was so cold, and with the wind, I was
it was so cold that night, dude. The weather was brutal.
Yeah,
dude, it was.
I had to drip faucets so my pipes didn't freeze in my metal.
Yeah, it was cold, dude. It got cold. Like I was driving home at like 2 a.m. after the second show was over, and Yeah, fuck, dude. It was brutal outside. Yeah, man. What's it called? Yeah, man. I can only imagine like being in that place, being on mushrooms like that'd be so intense. And it went late. It went late too, man. So
yeah, I sent him a message. I was like, "Happy birthday, Santos. Love you. We left. LOL."
Yeah, I'm sure, because that shit ran long, dude. It started like an hour late.
Yeah, I saw Hans Kim, and I'd met him a couple times, and we joke around on Instagram. He reposted something. I was like, "Oh, this means me and Hans Kim are best friends forever, or best friends." And then he put "best friends forever." So
there you go.
He saw me. He was like, "Are you on this show?" I was like, "Not yet, buddy." So.
Not yet. But you know what? There was 2 sold out shows, so he's gonna be doing it once a month. I think is the plan now that those went so well. So there's gonna be tons of spots. But anyway, it was fucking cool. It was a really good week, and it was like a really good comedy week for me. And the sets were cool. It was like the classic thing that all kinds of veteran comics talk about, where like the 8 p.m. show was like really great and was like really awesome. The crowd was like red hot, and then like the late show, it was already a late show, and then it started almost an hour late. So like the crowd, they were still good. Like it wasn't bad by any means, but they were a little rough around the edges.
They were a little lit.
Like the classic, like fucking drunk and it's late, and people are like a little bit
there was
more
one
on
guy
edge.
that I guess got kicked out, and he came back in, and I was out there, and she was like, "You've already been kicked out once. Get out of here!" And like the guy had to come like shove him out the door. I was like, okay, so that's an indicator of what might have been going on in that room.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, man, fucking, what's it called? It was a good night though. It was a lot of fun. And
there's a lot of good feedback I saw online about it. So
yeah, that was great, dude. It was a lot of fun.
Sounds like it's happening again. That's a good sign.
Yeah. It's always a good sign when they let you do it again. Right. But yeah, man, what were we talking about? We were going to talk about something. We were going to get into stories and do all kinds of different.
Oh yeah. I was telling you about the stuff my dog got into.
Stuff your dog got into. What are you talking about?
Well, I was leaving for Twilight this last week, and I was first up, so I had to get there. And my dog, I heard him playing with the toy in my bedroom. I thought it was just a rope toy. He flops around in the carpet, throwing it up in the air. He's a goofy dog. And then I'm like, "Come here, buddy." And he comes out of the room. He's got it in his mouth. And I was like, "What is that?" And he could tell the tone, like I was going to take it from him. So he just starts taking off. And I have like solid floors. So he just peels out like Scooby-Doo. And I'm chasing him around the kitchen island in my house. And it's my roommate's pocket pussy because somebody left his door open. And my dog's doing the thing where he like whips it back and forth like a dead animal. He's whacking this pocket pussy against his head back and forth, like knocking himself silly. And so I have to tackle my dog and rip my roommate's pocket pussy out of his mouth. And by then it's all like dirty and hairy and slobbery, and I don't know what's slobber and what's left over. And then I'm just like, I could have just thrown it in his room because it, didn't have too many teeth marks in it. Mostly dog teeth
so
marks.
Funny,
but
dude.
The trash can was closer, and I just threw it away and threw my dog in a cage. And then,
I mean, it's pretty much a loss at that point, right? I mean, once the dog is attacked,
he's not very good at helping me take care of my dog, and my dog got out of the cage and chewed up my pocket pussy a few months ago. And I thought he just chewed it in half, right? Because I found both ends.
Yeah.
And just the middle was gone where the flavor is.
Yeah.
Because I don't hit bottom. And so, I threw that away and ordered another one on Amazon like a man. And then, so the next day is when I was dating that girl in Austin. She has a little dog park. We're taking our dogs out together. They're best buddies, or were. Anyways, my dog just starts shitting pink silicone chunks of pocket pussy. And I got to run over there with the little bag and be like, "Oh, what's wrong with him? What did he eat? Maybe I should get him checked out," and pretend I don't know what it is. Hopefully she didn't see
oh
too
my
much,
God, I've never seen that before. That's so good, dude. He was addicted to the jizz, dude. He had to get a second helping.
Nasty fool.
That's fucking crazy. In a week?
No. Mine was like a couple months ago.
Oh, so he was really fiending, right? He's been, this is a delicacy treat right here.
Yeah, I just don't know why my roommate's pocket pussy was only like 5 inches long.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And it was double-sided. I mean, even me would be coming out the other side.
Double-sided.
On a good day.
Yeah, man, that's so funny. What's the double-sided for, in case you want to get in with your buddy and get some good
either lips or
some finger cuffs action?
Different hole on the other side.
I've never heard of that. The double-sided.
Yeah, one side will have lips,
because I thought the pocket pussy was supposed to be
one side of the hips.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be I thought it was supposed to be a pretty private thing. But I guess not. I don't know. I guess now it's a party
my dog
thing.
Sniffed it out. Well,
I guess so.
Well, it's bad when my dog finds his carpet cocaine, and you're like, "Oh, don't lick that plate under his bed," and all of a sudden my dog's running. Oh, God, yeah. I should probably kick that guy out.
Yeah, who knows? But dude, last week it was so funny. I don't know what it was or what it was left over from, because maybe there was something from a package or something I had, because I don't do anything. I mean, I don't get high on anything anymore. So like there was like something that looked like cocaine residue right here. It was so funny. And who was fucking here last time? I think it was Jordan Mack, and he was like, fucking clean up your fucking, what's up with your little leftover Coke there? I'm like, dude, that's not even that. It's so funny, because it totally looked like, it totally looked like it too, but obviously it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like if I did cocaine, I'd just say I do cocaine, but I don't.
Just from like some sour straws would fill out of there.
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's weird.
Or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been from the, you know how like when you when you have a package, sometimes they put that stuff in there to keep things dry.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it leaked out from when I ordered the pocket pussy. Maybe it sneaked out from that.
Yeah, you gotta keep it dry till you get it wet.
Who knows what that is, dude? I have no idea.
Dog slobber from.
But yeah, man. Fucking what else has been out? I haven't seen you in a while, man. I see you sparingly.
I was working a lot, but this month's a lot slower. I got a week off, and then I go to LA.
That's right, at the end of this month.
Got a UCLA basketball game, but I booked my flight super early the day before, and I got to rent a car. So I have that whole first day. Don't have to be at work till like noon or 1 the next day.
You know where they're playing or not yet?
At UCLA.
Oh yeah, duh. It's a fucking home game. I've
never been to California. Now I'm getting paid to go there, get a rent a car, and then my flight. The game's Tuesday, fly in Monday, but I get there at 10 a.m. So I got the whole day to go. I don't know, go see the beach or go to. I don't know. I don't even know where to go. All I really want to see is the Comedy Store and maybe go to Venice Beach because I've heard of it. I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
And then I work Tuesday. Probably noon to midnight. And then I found a flight where I'm supposed to fly back Wednesday. They're like, okay, your day after your work, you fly back. I found a flight that doesn't leave till Thursday morning at 1:15 a.m. So I got the whole day Wednesday.
Oh, hell yeah.
With a rent-a-car and, basically being paid to be in LA for the day. So
yeah, you're going to go, like I was telling you when you told me that the other day, if you want to check out comedy clubs, the fucking from what my buddies tell me,
because if there's a Monday mic or a Wednesday mic, I might be able to hit one.
You'll be able to look that stuff up. But what I was gonna say is, what my buddies are telling me is that the Ice House is that's normally a good one to check out, but it's not open, I guess, until next month because they had new ownership over the pandemic. I guess they bought. I don't know if it was right before the pandemic or during, but either way, they got new ownership and they're just kind of sitting on it, I guess, like from what I hear from everybody.
Idiots.
Yeah, well, they're just sitting on it because they can, and they remodeled it. So they were just like taking their time revamping the club. It's supposed to be like brand new and shiny and stuff, from what I hear. So supposedly next month is when it's going to open. So maybe that'll be cool. But yeah, I mean, I think you'll miss it, but
Well, I got asked to go do the Rose Bowl in Pasadena over New Year's. But I was already booked locally for a Stars game, and then the Stars game got canceled. So I was like, but
fuck.
Ended up going to the Roast and Flow show that night. And
where was that at?
In Dallas at Royal Lane Studios.
Okay.
And it's a roasting competition with games, and I had Colby and JP with me, and we were the sacrificial lambs. Oh yeah.
You did it. Okay.
I was just driving Colby out there. I was actually going to take mushrooms and watch him get roasted alive.
Yeah.
Oh, he was Tribby found out thought he had COVID, so he couldn't come, or his kid or something. He dropped out like on the drive there.
Hey, not to be annoying, just make sure you're up to the mic. There you go.
So on the drive there, he was like, well, I got another comedian in the car with me. And she's like, oh, you're a lifesaver. So on the ride there is like, you're on the show.
Fuck yeah.
And I hadn't looked at the format or the games or anything. So I didn't know what was going on.
What do you mean with games? Like that's part of the competition?
Like they had musical chairs. They had a black team and a white team. They gave us shirts. Of course, we were on the white team.
Yeah.
And like one was musical chairs. They were actually playing musical chairs. When the music stops, whoever doesn't have a chair has to roast the next person on the team. And then at one point they had like Soul Train style dancing where both teams go out in the audience and try to dance to get people to get up and dance with them, and that's the competition. Nobody's gonna get up to dance with JP Colby and me at this show, you know what I mean? But I was just like, I was like, have fun with it, just have fun and learn. I knew we were gonna get burned alive, but
did you get a chance to roast back?
Yeah.
Okay. And then did JP do it too, or did he just?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave him some mushrooms, and they kicked in, and all of a sudden he was standing in the back of the group, and he was just going, "This is not," and I was like, "Oh, he's in the loop. He's stuck.
He's stuck.
He's
stuck. There's a glitch in the matrix right there.
This is not. Yeah. So
this is not. Oh, dude,
that was a good night to end Destroyed December before Sober January. So.
Yeah.
Before Faded Fate. No.
So was that right before the holidays?
Yeah, that was New Year's Eve.
Okay.
That night. So we got out of there at like 12:30 at night.
Okay.
Drove to my house.
That's cool, man.
And took acid to try to forget it all.
Right. Yeah.
This is yeah. So I'm about 12 hours late on Sober January, actually.
Right. That was your that was your second time stopping by Dallas Comedy Club on Saturday, right? Because you'd been there the Wednesday before that. And
well, I stopped by Wednesday because I found out Danny was in the competition.
Yeah.
And so I just went to go support him because he came out to my show Tuesday. So I went to go support him. And plus, I'm trying to go check out these clubs that I haven't been to. I still haven't been to either one of the improvs. I haven't been to the Backdoor, Plano House of Comedy. So, I finally started going out to Dallas Hyenas last month.
Yeah.
Or a couple months ago. So,
yeah. Well, I was just going to say, because it's like the different feels for the different clubs, but you actually just reminded me of something that happened to me on Wednesday when you're talking about that open mic competition thing that you saw Danny at. So check this out. It was so funny for me because, I go there every Wednesday and quite a few Sundays, but every Wednesday. So sometimes I'm there twice a week, but I'm definitely there every Wednesday, right? So I went Wednesday, and then I was on a show Pop-Up over in Deep Ellum.
I saw you Wednesday.
Couple blocks away, right? So then I went over and did a 10-minute set. I did the 5 minutes at the fucking open mic at Dallas Comedy Club. Then I went over and did Pop-Up. I did like a 10-12 minute set, whatever. That was fucking great. The guy who hosts it's awesome. That's a great fucking venue. It was a great crowd. It was so fun. Walk back, because it was walking distance from Dallas Comedy Club, right? So I come back. Now, I'm used to like that mic goes on till 10-ish. It usually runs about 2 hours or so.
So it starts at 8.
So hour. Yeah, it starts at, no, it's usually over at 9:30. My bad. But I was, I gave Hakeem a ride to Dallas Comedy Club, and I texted him, and his phone's been weird. Like, hasn't been getting texts. So I fucking, I texted him and said, hey, are you still there? Because I wanted to see if he needed a ride to Hyenas, because I was going to go do the open mic there after I was done. So I'm walking back. I don't hear from him. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to pop back in Dallas Comedy Club. Let me see if he's there, because if he needs a ride, he probably got a ride already, but let me see so I don't like leave him, So I go back in there, and then I'm like, there's still an event going on in that room. And normally it's like, this is like 10:30 at this point. So it's like long done by then. So I go in, and there's like a room full of people. There's comics that I know. I saw Danny sitting there. I saw a bunch of people that go to Backdoor sitting there. So I'm like, dude, what the fuck? There's like a bunch of people sitting here. There's a crowd. There's a different host. The lady comes up to me and goes like, hey, what's going on? Are you a comic, or are you trying to watch the show? And I'm like, no. I'm a comedian. I just looking for my friend. I've seen if you need a ride. And she's like, oh yeah, well, you can come and watch. You can come and do whatever.
Yeah, it's Brittany
Come
Elizabeth.
sit down.
I met her last week too. And
I just met her Saturday, right? So I'm like, dude, this is why I want to tell you this, because I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is this? Because I totally forgot this whole open mic competition thing was a thing, right? So I'm thinking,
yeah, it just looked like an open mic to you then, yeah.
Well, dude, I'm thinking, So wait, the open mic is over. It's 10:30 at night. These are a bunch of people that I don't know. I don't know this lady who's hosting
Am
it.
I out of the loop?
I'm like, is this like the open mic for the dead? Like, is this like the fucking, like, did I come too late and this is like another dimension and this is like everybody who's died?
You're like, did I come back to
like,
the right
club?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, did Danny die and like I didn't know it and I'm around all these fucking dead and they're like, no, come in, sit down, trying to bring me over. Yeah, trying to bring me over to the other side. I had a trippy moment. I'm like, oh no, it's that competition thing. I didn't realize they did it in the same room after. That's why.
Danny crushed it, man.
I heard he did well.
Win. Yeah. Actually, I felt like it should have been between him and Cody, but Chris Hopkins did a great job too, and he won. He was surprised.
I don't think I know who that is. Maybe if I saw him, but that's cool. Yeah, so I popped in for that just because I was seeing if Hakeem needed a ride, but
I didn't see him there that night, so he must have.
Isn't Dallas? So now that you've been there a couple times, it's interesting, right? Because it's got like it has a little bit more of like a theatery feel to it, right?
Yeah, it does.
Like compared to like
both
Hyenas.
Now that I've seen both rooms, yeah.
Right, like Improv Hyenas, they definitely feel like you're kind of classic, like what you would think of as a comedy club, like in your head. Dallas Comedy Club is great. It just both rooms, like the big room and the small room, and the hallways and the bar, it just has more of like
kind of like
theater.
a tall stage. I've noticed in the small room I sat through. Yeah,
yeah, and it's like it's got, once again, man, it's got like kind of like a theater.
Is it kind of raised in that bigger room you were in? Is it kind of raised in the back? I peeked in there for a second.
It's raised, yeah.
So that makes it feel like a stadium, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so like in the small room, you're just like slightly above everybody. You know, it's a very small kind of like lift up stage. But in the main room, you're like, you have people right up in the front, like sitting right below you. Like they're super close. So both of my sets that night, my guest spots, both of the comedians, because it was like piggyback. So both the comedians that introduced me both fucked my name up in different ways for each of my sets. So that was great. So the first dude did what a lot of people do, which is he called me Crux. Like he was like Crux Crawford, which is so weird because it's like, why would you think it's Crux? And especially after I tell people that, like I'm like, it's Crux, and then they're like, still Crux. It's so weird. But anyway, he did that. But I have a cool thing because that's not the first time that's happened to me. So I just always go like, yeah, like I'm bilingual. That's like the Spanish version, but it's actually Crux, and like that's for the Latinos because we're multicultural here. We like to include everybody. So like that's how I like recover from it. Oh, it's the
Crux.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's how I fucking like recover from that. But then the other dude, there was this dude from Austin. That was introducing me on the Late Show that wasn't on the first one, and I had just met him right before, and he's like, hey man, so what's your name? Dude, he asked me twice. We went over it twice backstage. It's like Crux Crawford. I'm like, yes, it's Crux Crawford. And I even reminded him again right before he went on. He's like, what do you want me to say? You want any credits? And I'm like, yeah, just say like host of the Crux Yeah podcast, you know, like Crux Crawford, Crux Yeah podcast. He was like, got it. He goes out there, does his set. He goes, all right,
Ruxpin crawfish.
No. So the next guy coming to the stage, he's the host of the Crux Yeah podcast, so he got the podcast right. Then he goes, everybody give it up for Crux Crawford, everybody.
Yeah, they call me Crotch.
Yeah, Crux Crawford. And then afterwards, right, so whatever, like had a good set, I didn't care. I didn't even touch that one because I didn't want to like kind of like dig a hole. I didn't want to fucking step in something that I couldn't get out of, you know? So I just fucking rolled with it.
Wrong and think you're talking shit either.
Yeah. And I didn't know the guy as well. The first dude was Hector Cifuentes. So I knew him. I don't know him super well, but I knew him a little better because he's a Dallas guy. The other guy was from Austin. So I didn't know him that well. I didn't want him to think that I was like, you know, like, being malicious about it or whatever. So I just let it roll and I just did my set and whatever. Then I come back and he's like, hey man, that was a good set and all this stuff. And he's like, did I say your name right? I'm like, no. And then he's like, no, what? I messed it up. And I'm like, you said the podcast right, but you said Crux Crawford. And he was like, oh man, I'm so sorry, dude. But it's fine. It's totally fine. Like, who cares? I told him, hey bro, I'd rather that you fuck my name up and I have a good set than you get my name right and I bomb. You know what I mean?
I'll take that swap.
Yeah. So it's whatever.
You get Stanktoe wrong and you call me shit pinky, you know, I'll just roll with it.
That'd be actually a pretty hardcore name, bro.
That's what happened to me when I did the will call, or no, not will call, Hat Tricks mic the first time. They're like, "What's your stage name?" Stanktoe, and then I went to get a drink, an hour later, and they're like, "What was it? Shit Pinky?" And I'm like, "No, that would be actually worse."
Yeah,
and Stanktoe is Shit Pinky.
Shit Pinky sounds like a Black Room comic name. Like, hey man, if you say Shit Pinky,
Tyrone
that motherfucker
Shit Pinky.
murders, dude. He's a murderer. No one can fuck with Shit Pinky. But yeah, man, that's so weird. I feel like you're not going to enough mics, you're not working out enough, you're not performing enough if people don't fuck your name up. Like if you don't have enough experiences where people are going to mess your name up, I feel like you're not performing enough, because not everywhere is going to care on different levels about who you are. You're going to know people on different levels, right? Some people you're going to know really well and you see them every week. Then some people aren't going to know you that well. Yeah.
And right? I've been staying mostly on the Fort Worth side, but a couple mics over there have passed on. So,
what's passed on?
They did, man. They did. Low Key's gone and Bodega's gone. So
Low Key's gone. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we went to the
Bodega's gone.
Bodega's gone too.
I didn't know that.
It happened the week after.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was this? Was this
They're
month?
They're selling Low Key, so that one's over. And then the next week, they called Andrew and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna take a different direction." But I mean, he had that one for over 2 years, so.
Isn't that so? The Bodega one?
Yeah, and that's one of the first places I did comedy that wasn't Hyena, so,
Isn't that so
Even though I grew to hate it, kind of, but I also grew to love it, because I figured the room out. You just got to command their attention, and you got to do shorter, stupider jokes, but I mean, it's a bar crowd.
Well, the great thing about that, too, is I think you also just have to accept the fact that that's a place where you're practicing talking. You know what I mean? Like you're practicing getting down. It's a great place to work out the things that you're trying to work on. But anyway, I got to this point where I look over their heads and pretend the place is full and they're all looking at me instead of looking at all the people not paying attention. And that way I'm just like, feel like I'm performing for people that are there to see me. So I'm trying to do it right more than change it up to get their attention. So well, I'm sure he'll find another spot. But isn't that so funny, dude? Isn't it so weird? Like, because like that's the same thing with anything you get involved in, right? That you start doing for a while. Like if you stick around and you do something, not just comedy, but just anything, any kind of trade, any kind of profession, anything. Over time, man, shit changes. Things come, things go, but you just kind of got to roll with the punches. And I feel like when you stick around to the point where things are changing and you see things come and go, it's a sign that you are in it for the long haul, because now you're sticking around. Like things are changing. You know what I mean? Things move, and you can talk about it like, oh yeah, well this used to be over there. My point is like it's cool because you're getting experience. You know what I mean?
I'm excited because I believe I will be the host of a new Monday mic in Dallas.
Hell yeah.
So,
where's that going to be at? Do you know yet?
I believe I know. Go look at this picture. What was it called? I just found out. Oh, it's in my messages.
Fuck, I didn't even realize, dude. We just had some fucking dead air there. It's been one thing after another, dude. I've been
Longhorn Ice House.
The Longhorn Ice House?
Off Northwest Highway in Dallas.
Hell yeah, dude. You're going to host that every week?
Yeah. I got to go to LA the first week it starts. So our good friend Nick McClanahan, a.k.a. Ian Max, started up for me. And so.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Well, here, let's fucking, let me see like where we're at with it. Yeah. Let's go ahead and we'll get into some of these fucking clips here. Let me turn all this shit on. But yeah, man, that's fucking, that's a trip, dude. Things come, things go, things change, and you just kind of got to roll with the punches.
Strippers go,
Strippers come, strippers go. They're in your trunk. They start to smell. You got to bury them. You forget.
Bang your roommate. They get pregnant.
Yep. And that's why.
That's so last year, bro. That's so last year. Is that bad when your gauge for life is I'm doing good because there's no pregnant strippers this month?
But
I'm doing good because there's no pregnant strippers this month.
I mean, I'd definitely say it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
definitely a step in the right direction.
Sober January helps make you not make as many mistakes.
Oh yeah, you're doing sober January.
It's kind of boring, but there's way less stress and drama I've noticed, and I've also noticed that drunk people are fucking annoying sometimes. So.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
This guy the other night on Thursday, he looked like Joe List, but with a wider head. And
Who
he was
did?
just hammered. Oh, just this comedy fan that followed us to Dirty Murphy's after comedy on Thursday.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, and he was just wasty.
Dirty Murphys is the one by Highness Fort Worth, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it like a block away or some shit?
Yeah, it's like 2 blocks one way and 2 blocks one way, but those are short city blocks, so.
All right, so I'm going to go over a couple things with you, a couple little clips, and then we're going to do a new section after we go over those that I'm just starting called Mean to Kids, where we're going to look at some fucking funny kids clips and we're going to see what we have to say about them, all right? See what you have to say, see what I have to say. First of all, this one, I just have a question.
I just want to start this off by saying, fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. That's cool, man. You were the parent. That gives you license. All right, so first one we'll go over is this one, just because I don't understand what the fuck is really going on. So like maybe you can help, because this is supposed to be like a kids clip thing, but obviously like there's a grown man and I don't see the kid in there. So this is like, so if you're just listening, play, goddammit. If you're just listening, there's this like grown man and he's like, I think he's like pretending to give his kid a bath. He's like pouring soap in. He's
pretending to be the kid, and that's
he's
why he's
pretending to
wasting
be
all
it.
this.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, when
okay.
the kids get too quiet, they're in the bathroom wasting soap.
Okay,
It's his whole thing.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, because
Like
I
in my
didn't
house,
understand.
When it gets too quiet, I know that my dog may have escaped the fence and ran away again. So
Okay, so he is pretending
to be the kid, yeah.
to be the kid, and he's pouring all the stuff in there. Now, do you think he's like living out some kind of childhood trauma here? Do you think he's like enacting like what would happen before he started to get his ass beat after the bath?
I don't believe you're supposed to be wasteful, and I believe that's probably the thing. I know I'd get smacked in the head if I was, just pouring money down the drain like that.
Yeah, for sure, dude. But he's doing it like, look, I got to say though,
that's why he's singing like a little kid.
He's doing, thank you, because I legitimately, this was a question. This wasn't even me trying to be funny. This was me like saying like, I don't understand this, and
when
I think
kids
just
get too quiet, they're fucking shit up.
I get that. I get that part. I just couldn't understand if he was trying to be the kid. But I think you're right.
I can't understand how grown ass people set their phone up and like think about this and do this, and they're like, I'm a TikTok.
Yeah. So that's a whole separate conversation. But I wonder. Also, like, you got to see, he's not what's it called? I can't even fucking think today. He's not really doing that crazy. He's still being an adult with the soap. You see when he hits when he's hitting. Okay, so this one he's pouring the shit out, right?
Yeah.
But look at this. He's very conservatively.
like smack.
Yeah, dude. Very conservatively. All right. So
he's
thank you for clarifying
to make a
that.
video. He still doesn't want to waste all his damn soap.
That's
like, what he was taught.
He's like, let me make this TikTok, but let me not waste all the goddamn soap.
Add some water to this, so I don't waste all of it.
That's fucking great, dude. Thank you for clarifying that, because I am an idiot and I couldn't understand what the fuck was the message there. Some videos I watch,
dude, younger girls that watch dumb TikToks.
Dude, that's so funny that you say that, bro, because I'm about to show you something right now. So this is something that we went over before. So this is one of the people, because like with my music shit with like We Are the Flesh and stuff, a lot of people will use our songs in their own TikToks, like as the audio. And check out this guy. That's a great thing that you just said.
I heard some of those, and then one of the tracks I'm really digging.
Oh yeah, well, so check this out, dude. Check out this guy. This is how this guy's living his life.
After the negative comment.
You see this, dude? He's talking about age gap, and then he's like, this is what happens when you date a 19-year-old in your 40s, and then she's in the background fucking dancing. And he's like, and I'm 45. So do you think that you could...
So that's me in 3 years.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think you could do that, though? Because he's basically making this TikTok saying I'm dating a 19-year-old. And I said this last time when we went over this clip. I'm not judging. I'm not saying like fuck this guy, because obviously I think this guy is great for using a clip of my music, so that's great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, obviously, more power to him. Thanks for making the fucking video. Thanks for including our shit, because we get paid for that shit. But I'm just saying it's a question, right? So I'm not saying like fuck this guy, he's a piece of shit. It's not like she's like 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She is over age. But
it
like,
looks like the state.
Could you do that?
It only has to
who
be
knows?
15, so
right?
he's like thinks he's progressed.
Could you do that? 19? I don't know, bro.
No.
Date? I don't know. I don't think I could.
I mean, even Jacob, he's 23 and he says he won't even date 18-year-olds on Tinder. So
do you think? Okay, I get that's true. He does have that opinion, but let me throw this at you though. So yes, I agree with you. It seems like we're on the same page. Like, hey man, like I'm 36, dude. Like I don't think I could date a 19-year-old at this point. I don't think
the last 2 girls I dated, one was 30, one was 32, and one was 36. So I mean, that's still young for me, but that's like.
But check
Jacob's age are like, those are old chicks.
Check this out though. On the other side of the spectrum though, what I think, and I'm not saying this makes it like that therefore you need to. I feel like the younger you are, because I'll tell you this I can speak from my experience, and I know I'm not alone with this. When I was 19, 20, 21, 22, I was definitely I was more into older women.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like, oh, I want a MILF, I want a 29-year-old, I want a 30-something-year-old, you know what I mean? Because
when I was 22, I was dating a 29-year-old, and she was like a paralegal of a big company, so she had like money, so she was kind of like a sugar mama. Like she paid for me to have an apartment, paid for trips, and
I had a similar experience to that too.
Yeah, was gonna buy me a suit. She's like, "Do you have a suit?" I'm like, "No, I don't even have anywhere to wear a suit." And she's like, "Oh, every man should have a tailored suit that he feels powerful in. I'm gonna buy you a suit." And I'm like, but she's also kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a similar experience. So my whole thing is Jacob is in that age range. So therefore I feel like he's going to be, I think when you get a little older, I think maybe then you start to go, oh, if I date a younger girl, then there's going to be a lot less. It's going to be like easier. I feel like if I did date a younger girl that was like 21 or something, or 20, like obviously like I'm married, I'm not trying to date anybody, but I feel like if I did, it would be easy to impress them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
it's so much
when I was
easier to
Jacob's
impress.
age, I was waiting tables, and there was like a lot of young hot hostess, like
when you're
18,
older,
19, 20, 21.
When you're older,
and I did at that age, I totally dated them because they're only a few years younger, and they were super hot, and I didn't go to TCU college like him. I waited tables, so I didn't have a bunch of girls my own age like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is, I feel like when you get older, you're like, oh, that would be so much easier, because it's like all I have to do. Like you have more when you typically, normally, if you're following the normal trajectory of life, you have more resources and you have more the older you get, right? You've acquired stuff. You're a little typically more financially stable. So it's like, oh, that would be. But anyway, whatever. I don't want to get in a rabbit hole with this, but I'm saying I feel like if you get a little older,
you take a girl to Papados instead of Taco Bell, she's gonna be like, wow,
wow, this is great. That's like Spago.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't think I could do it though. But yeah, that guy can, and he is, and he showed you in his TikTok that he's doing that. All right, so then we got.
Well, you know, when I was dating the younger girls, I had them on my screensaver, like, yeah, see what I got, and you know.
Okay, so then we got this kid. So this is the first one here. Let's watch our first kid clip here. So if you're listening, there's this kid that's like in a toy car, and he started to pop a wheelie on it, and now he's stuck and he can't get out of it.
He's done with the wheelie.
And he's fucking freaking out.
Bro, floor it and then hit the brakes and you'll drop. That's what you do on a motorcycle.
I think this is the most unthankful fucking kid I've seen, dude. I mean, he's completely
I got a power
unappreciative.
wheel that's cars shaped, so you know that's extra $30 just for the shape of race car red or whatever his name is, Turbo McGee, Lightning. Lightning McQueen. How do I shouldn't know.
How
that.
Ungrateful is
He's
this
got a
motherfucker?
helmet in case he humps out backwards.
Yeah, dude. I mean, kids are dying.
You know, when I got a power wheel, it was when somebody threw it away and it didn't work, and I just took the engine out and sat in it and rolled down the hill. So
yeah,
I didn't have a helmet either.
Yeah, dude. Fucking helmet, fancy fucking shit. How dare you, bro? I mean, kids are dying and you're mad because you're stuck popping a wheelie in your fancy kid car.
I had a big wheel. I had to pedal it myself, and I didn't even get the one with the cool handbrake.
Yeah, dude. And you're stuck. God damn.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm stunting at 2 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm hating life.
So unappreciative, dude.
White kids.
Fucking white kids, dude. Fucking suck.
I'm going to raise my
This kid makes me sick, dude. Makes me sick.
You successful parents.
You know how much I'd want a car like that? Oh, dude, it was so funny. Today, I was taking my 1-year-old I took him to the park, and there was like
I was taking him, but I left him.
Then I fucking left, dude. I got another story about that after this, actually, another park story. But let me tell this one first. So today, I took him to the park, and there was this other parent, like this lady that rolled up with a couple of her kids, and one of them was like this 3-year-old kid that rolled up on like it was badass, dude. I want to get my kid this. It was a Gravedigger, like kids motorized truck, monster truck. And it was pretty big, dude. It was pretty badass, bro.
Can I fit in it?
We would not be able to fit in it, but dude, if I were a kid, I would fucking want that, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to go buy it for him.
Yeah, just take a picture
when
of him
I saw him,
even if he's making that kid's sad face.
Yeah, dude. So he rolled up in it, right?
Yeah.
And I said to the lady, I'm like, dude, that's an awesome truck that your kid has, right? And she goes, yeah, thanks. And I'm like, well, let's not fucking get carried away here. I mean, this isn't your truck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She was acting like it was like yeah, you know, like it was like a real monster
sprung
truck.
for the chrome rims.
Yeah. It was like, well, I didn't know you were going to be this
Little
conceited.
kid reaches down, hits the little radio that they have in them now.
Yeah. And then I think I know I've talked about this on here before, but I took him to the park like maybe a month ago, and there was this. So when I rolled up, normally there's like older kids playing, and they usually, he's 1, so he's really small. He's a lot younger than a lot of these kids you see running around. Certainly the kids that are at the park by themselves.
Yeah.
And like
Mark Norman.
What?
He always burps on his podcast.
Everybody does that, dude. It's Mark Norman. So, what's called there was a girl there playing, right? Now, normally the older kids just keep to themselves because he's basically like a baby. But she was like super sociable. So I'm over here pushing him on the swing, minding our own business. And she comes over. She's probably like 10 or 11. And she's like, hey, oh my God, it's a baby. He's so cute. And she starts talking to me and talking to him. I was like looking around because I'm not used to interacting with children. I don't work with kids. I'm not around kids until I had my own.
Chris Hanley gonna come walking out of the bush.
Yeah, right. Chris Hansen.
Hansen.
Yeah. How's it going there, partner? You enjoy talking to little girls at the park, do you? So yeah, man, I felt so awkward in this situation. And I have every right to be there. I'm playing there with my kid. I took him by myself. I'm only there with him. I have every right to be there. She came up to us. She's interacting. I still felt very weird. I still felt very uncomfortable, like as an adult man. Like she's sitting here talking to me, interacting with him, playing with my kid, which is fine. It just was so weird. I was like constantly looking around, being like, she's talking to us,
safe.
bro.
Everything's fine.
She's talking to us.
It doesn't look right.
It just
people don't.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Know that there's still.
It was so strange, dude. Okay, let's get into the fucking next one here.
I had the girl right there, and I didn't even bring my candy.
How about this? And what I have to say about that, the first thing I'll say, that's how she became the top stripper at the club. Had no problem with the heights.
I just got to say, man, they sprung for the heavy duty garage door opener on that one.
Yeah, dude.
Because back in the day, man, it would like if something pulls on it, it just stops and comes back down. Would have crushed the kid.
Okay, you're taking a whole safety route on it, dude. I'm trying to fucking.
Well, she's got a good grip too. She should be a rock climber or something.
So you're trying to be positive with it. I'm trying to make her a stripper. You're fucking like.
If her name's Michelle, she'll be a rock climber. If her name's Roxy, we know.
But rock climbing, don't you have to actually climb, or you just? I guess the holding on takes strength too.
Holding on,
I've never rock climbed. I don't know.
Use your legs to get up. You don't pull yourself up. You just hold on with your arms. So you use your feet to climb up. And that's what they told me. And then I was going right up the wall because I was just trying to like pull myself up with my arms.
Yeah. Well, oh shit, I forgot. So like if you're just listening, it was the clip was this girl. I fucked up. There's this girl that she was like a little girl, like the mom opened the garage door. It was an automatic garage door, and she like held on, and then she was like sitting there holding on at the top.
Rode it all the way to the top.
And
then started giggling like, ha ha ha, look at me. Yeah,
dude.
The mom already with one smaller baby and one arm runs over and snatches her up.
Yep. So yeah, that was That's interesting, man. That was crazy. Now here, conversely, you got this kid, and I think this is going to be the future customer at the strike. He's already learning how to like.
This is the kid that
take money out.
Wakes up when his parents are still partying and comes and watches, and nobody sees him in the kitchen, like watching everything. So he learns how to dance. He knows how.
Remember
to
to stay on the mic, dude, because otherwise
knows how
you
to
get
pull
all
the
crazy.
money out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, dude. I think he's learning how to be the customer at the strip club already. He's like, hey, I got the tips right here.
That was a crunchy ass dollar too.
It was crunchy. It was crumpled up, dude.
Well, he's got tiny pockets.
Tiny pockets.
Tiny pockets.
All right. So tell me what you think about this kid here.
Hold up. Let me tell you what my son decided to do to me today. He's a little prankster. I wonder where he gets that from. Well, I get to the daycare and he starts hollering. Oh my God, that's not my mom. That's not my mom.
That's not my mom.
Just like that. Then he starts to get into the vehicle and he goes, yeah, that is not my mom. Yeah. The daycare teachers are coming over to the vehicle like I'm kidnapping this child. And he's just rolling. He just starts laughing, thinking this is the funniest thing ever.
Let me go, you.
And then he says, you're not my mom, dude. What do you think of this kid?
I like him.
You like him? I think that's horrible, dude.
It's great, dude.
Fucking
He's got a great
disrespectful.
sense
He's
of
trying to get
humor.
your parents in trouble, dude.
He knew it would work and he tried it, and then he knew it was funny.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
That's an intelligence level on that.
Or maybe, dude. You're
He's gonna be a savage.
You're like, or like maybe she's the problem. Maybe she's complaining about. It's like, well, sorry, you have to parent, you know. But yeah, I don't know, man. That would be fucking nightmarish.
Yeah, just say it's for TikTok or something. I don't know.
That would be nightmarish. If you
I mean, you know, my sister needed some help as a single mom back in the day, and I would go pick up my 2-3-year-old nephew from daycare, and at first he would cry because he wanted his mom. He'd be like, and he wouldn't want to come with me, but they'd be like, do you know him? I was like, yeah, but I want my mommy. And then after me picking him up for a few weeks, he didn't. When his mom would come get him, then he would cry because he wanted Uncle Zach to come get him. So I switched that around.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I don't know though, dude.
So it felt like I was stealing a child because he's just like, no, I want mommy, and I was like, we're gonna go get mommy. Let's go get some chicken fries.
So check this out. When I was like, I think 4 years old, I was riding I had like a scooter. It was like a skateboard, but like with the handles on it, you know, like a handle.
I had one.
Right, yeah. So you can like pedal around with it, but it's not like a free board, so you don't fall. So I was doing that, and we were like, my actual dad was like with me because my parents were still together at the time, and like he was watching me, right? Because obviously, like I'm a little kid, he's making sure I don't get hit by a car or whatever. So I'm riding around this parking lot because it was empty. There was a lot of space in it, and it was like in the back of this bank. So he's sitting there, you know, and my dad smoked cigarettes. I think he still does. So he's like smoking a cigarette, like just watching me, you know what I mean? And like I'm like riding around on this fucking scooter, having a good time. Then the next thing you know, these cops roll up, right? And they go, "Hey, what's going on? Like, we got a call that you were out back here, like, you know, with this kid." And then he's like, "Yeah, it's my son. Like, he's my kid. I'm watching him while he rides around back here." And then the cops like call me over, and they're like, "Hey, do you know this man?" So if I had pulled some shit like that and said like, "He's not my dad," dude, my dad would have been fucked, dude. I would have taken him away in cuffs. So luckily,
how funny would that be now, though?
Well, shit, I don't know, dude. Like, but I had to tell him. I was like, "Yeah, I still remember this." Like, I was looking up at the cop, and I was like, "Yeah, he's my dad." But dude, if I had decided to fucking have a sense of humor like that kid, that my dad could have gotten fucking taken away
forever. Every time he's like, "Hey, you're grounded," you'd be like, "You're not my dad." You could just use it forever.
You got me arrested. You got me arrested.
Ultimate callback.
Yeah. But that was crazy.
Nah, yeah,
So
I wouldn't have survived doing that to my dad.
Dude, no. And then that would have been just such a heavy ass fucked up situation. So then my dad got fucking pissed because obviously the bank personnel are the ones who did it. They saw him back there and went like, "Oh my God, I think it's a fucking child molester."
Yeah, he definitely
watching
like
this kid,
pedo,
which is so strange too. Because like if I were a banker and I looked in the back of my parking lot and I saw that there was a kid riding a scooter and there was one dude with him, watching him, I would just assume, oh, it must be the dad. You know, it was just it's so weird.
The kid could obviously skate up to the window and be like, help me.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, man. So he went in there and he went off on the fucking bed. He was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I fucking live in this neighborhood, which it was not the best thing to do. You know what I mean? In that situation, but still, I don't blame him entirely because that is kind of fucked up. It's like, bro, I'm just watching my kid, and just because I'm like smoking a cigarette, you think that I'm like a fucking child molester trying to touch this kid?
Yeah.
When I'm the only guy around.
One day of the week, I'm gonna let you go scooter before I lock you back in the dungeon, boy.
Well, also, like, I was so young that why would there be? Wouldn't you be more concerned if there was a kid unsupervised that young riding around in a parking lot? You know what I mean? So. I don't know. That was but that fucking reminded me of that just now watching that clip.
That's a little different because the daycare usually knows who's parent and stuff. So
well, this was just on a random day.
Yeah, no, but for that situation, for them,
yeah. I don't know, man. That's fucking interesting though. Like, how do you deal with that? Because if you're like, yeah, this is my kid, and then the kid's like, no, he's not.
It's one thing between the daycare personnel that you could literally fight off, and the difference between the cops, which you probably should not fight off. So,
yeah,
even if you,
what are you trying to say? You should fight daycare people?
No, my sister used to work at a daycare.
Yeah,
she cared about those kids. I worked there too illegally, so I'm sorry. So I was underage.
Oh, well, we're not going to get into that. But
quality daycare.
But yeah, man, how long have you been working with cameras and shit like that?
About 15, 16 years, since about 2005.
Okay. So you know how to jump back there and just operate all the stuff.
Not all the stuff. I mean, you give me almost any TV network camera, I'll build it up, plug it in, and get it going and shoot a live show and try to get more. We call them attaboys when they're like, oh, good shot, Seven, or good shot, or when he's going to need the coach next, and before he asks it, you get the coach, and he's like, oh, there you go. Just you'd rather get more attaboys than getting cussed at or getting yelled at, because
right
when you miss a shot, you do get yelled at in this industry. So they cuss and they're yelling, and they're like, yeah. I'm
sure, man. I'm sure. How does that work? Because there's got to be somebody deciding who's cutting from camera to camera, right?
Yeah, the director is calling it. And the technical director is the guy behind the board that switches everything behind the TV switcher. So he'll be like, ready one, take one. So he'll ready one in the program and then take it. And once he hits take, that goes live. And if I'm that camera, my tally comes on. I know I'm live. Yeah. Each camera gets different.
But you're just constantly filming, and then that guy's switching.
Well, each camera has its assignments for what to do during what situations. And have the director in one ear and the announcers in the other. That's why when you're, watching football and they're like, oh, 86 just had a good catch, and then bam, it'll cut to 86 because we're shooting whatever they're talking about if we don't have an assignment or if we're not hunting for something else.
Right.
So you have your assignments, you follow your assignments. The director is there, he can override those assignments. And then if you're not busy because the ball's on the other end of the field, or you have different assignments and you have time to headhunt for what the announcers are saying or what you are supposed to be doing, you get that.
Yeah, it's got to be crazy, bro.
Yeah, it goes by real fast when you're there.
I'm sure it's like an adrenaline rush the whole time you're working. Because plus you're around a heavily charged environment. It's like a big social thing. You got tons of people around you.
Oh, yeah. This last TCU game this Saturday was the biggest crowd I've ever seen in there in 3 years of working games. Because they were going against OU.
Yeah.
And they're doing really good this year.
Uh-huh. So. Well, so since you had this busy season and stuff like that, and I hadn't seen you in a while, are you having time to are you working on new stuff? You got some new bits you're working on and stuff like that?
Yeah, I did 7 mics in 6 days last week, and I changed my set a lot. That's why I always go off my note card, because I switch it up and add things. But I've been going with the same set, and I have it pretty polished. So hopefully I'll be ready for my 15-minute feature.
So you have 15. You'll have 15.
Yeah, I mean, I've done 12 6 months ago in the Red Room, and I've definitely had some events happen in my life in the last 6 months that have expanded my material. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
That's cool, dude. That's a lot of time. I
haven't written a lot lately, but just been kind of going over what's been happening, and instead of just writing my stupid one-liner butt jokes, I've been telling the stories, and people are, you know, loving the truth. So I'm just trying to bring more of that out.
Yeah. Well, you gotta, I think especially like at our stage and our level, you have to try a little bit of everything to figure out like where you are and who you're going to become. Right. Like I was just listening to, the fucking We Might Be Drunk with Mark Norman and Sam Morril.
Yeah.
Did you listen today to the Jim Gaffigan episode?
I haven't heard the new one. I just saw it.
So Jim Gaffigan was talking about Geraldo, the guy that he like started with. Mm-hmm. And he's like, it's so funny how you don't know, how you think you're going to end up a certain way as a comedian, and then you end up in a completely different way once you find yourself and where your career and your journey takes you. Because he's like, when I started with Greg Giraldo, he's like, he wanted to be like Brian Regan, like clean and like, you know, kind of like family friendly and stuff, and do that whole like big headline touring clean comic thing. And he's like, and I wanted to be like Dave Attell. Like, I wanted to be the gritty, dirty, underground fucking, you know, comic. And he's like, and we ended up completely switching and doing the opposite things. He's like, I'm the clean, like goofy, Midwesterny looking comic, you know, that's a headlining touring comic. And he was like the roast guy.
Yeah.
Like before he died, you know, like he was like the roast host guy. So it's like he became the insulting one, and like, you know, Jim Gaffigan was squeaky clean. So you just never know. You just never know. That's a great episode, dude. You got to check that one out.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I will.
Oh, you'll love it. It's fucking so cool. But yeah, you just never fucking know, right? You just never know like where you're going to end up, and the only way to find out
I got a question for you. What do you think about like musical comedy, like when they do a song with a guitar on stage?
I think that it's definitely an art form. I think that that's definitely like a niche, you know what I mean, that works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's not really something that I've ever really been a big fan of. Maybe like other than like Adam Sandler CDs back in the day.
Yeah, something silly like that.
I think, look,
I just was thinking like one song at the end that was kind of like a song about all my jokes and kind of told a story, but it would also be able to be loose where I could add stuff that I may have, you know, if I got heckled or if somebody yelled something or if I changed a bit and added something, I could change the song. Just like at the end, like one song. Okay, I was thinking of trying it. Yeah, so not my whole friggin' act.
So this is something that you would do. Okay.
I was thinking
that would be cool.
Just, you know, like
to
at
incorporate
home, we're drinking and hanging out. Like I'll just pick up the guitar, make a quick strum pattern, and then I'll be joking about what's going on. Like, and then Colby was on acid and fell on the floor with it, but I'll make it all rhyme and stuff, but fell on the floor with his Hot Pocket. You know, I don't know. Just sometimes when I'm at home, I pick up the guitar when people are around and make up funny songs. So it's like, man, if I could do that just at the end, I don't know, something I wanted to at least try once or twice.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, I mean, you
not
should.
Like a whole friggin' 5-minute set of.
Well, if you incorporated it in, I didn't realize you were talking about for you. Yeah. I mean, dude, fuck it.
Like
I mean,
just
why
end
not?
the set with a silly song and that wraps up all the jokes and kind of tells them again and hits the punchlines.
I mean, the only way to find out if you're really going to like that is if you try it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way to really.
I just was trying to ask all, you know, the people that I like, my
I'd
comedy
like to
buddies,
see it.
how hacked they think the guitar thing is.
No, well, I mean, for you, if you were to incorporate it and do it and like sum up your set that way, I think it could be cool. You know what I mean? I thought you meant like just people like that's their gig, like that's all they do.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that the whole thing. Maybe end up doing a few more, or just I don't know, just something I thought about that I wanted to try. Just the few times I was feeling loose and silly and picked up a guitar and made a stupid song real quick. I was like, man, if I could do this on stage, I think I'd get some laughs. So it's worth a shot. Maybe we'll see that this year.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, you're not going to know if you like it or if you like how it went until you try it. So you got to fucking try it. I mean, if it's an idea that you have, you got to do it because that's the only way you're going to find out if you like it.
I think it's worth a shot.
Hell yeah, dude.
Some songs, do some writing.
Fuck yeah, man. So what's
I like it silly?
What's on the story thing? On the note of that, because I know you have a lot. What do you think probably your craziest like drug experience is? Like off the top of your head.
Oh man, what's crazy is most of them happened last year. I mean, shit. I stayed up till 4 a.m. doing coke with Colby, and then went on a Tinder date at 4 a.m. because the girl was up too, and then she's over there smoking meth. And this is July 4th, and so I wake up on July 4th, and all of a sudden I didn't know she had 3 daughters. All of a sudden they wake up on July 4th morning, and we're all like swimming in the pool and hanging out, and I was like, what are you doing up so late? She's like, I'm about to watch Reservoir Dogs on the projector in the backyard and put the air mattress in the pool. I was like, how do I get tickets to this movie? So I go over there, smoke meth with this girl, and then hang out. And then it's all of a sudden it's noon on July 4th morning. She's like, yeah, I got to take the girls over to their dad's for July 4th. I was like, all right, I'm gonna head out.
Dude, I think I remember this because I remember when you like went on a date late in the middle of the night. I remember you talking about that or telling that story. Wow. Yeah, that's fucking
I didn't get home
crazy.
for 12 hours, so.
Dude, that's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I remember so like this wasn't even my experience. This because I've had some like weird ones and I'd really have to think about it off the top of my head like right now tonight at this moment. I can't think. But this is the funny thing that crosses my mind that's happened. It didn't even happen to me. It was a friend of mine that was telling me about this. He went to a wedding and he got like shit-faced at this wedding, right? And he ended up meeting another girl that was also single that went to the wedding. And like they ended up dancing and ended up kind of getting hot and heavy. And then they ended up going back to her, what he thought was just her house to hook up, but he was also fucking shit-faced, right? So he's only kind of half paying attention, half knows what's going on. This is the first night he's met this girl. He's never been to her house before, so they go in like she like had a her own entrance to this room. Mm-hmm. So you just came from outside directly into her bedroom. So they went in there, they hooked up, had a one-night stand, whatever. And then he wakes up the next morning, right? And he's like kind of half hungover, kind of figuring out, where am I? Oh, that's right. I hooked up with this chick. I'm sitting in her bed. I'm in her room, And all of a sudden, like, he sees the door crack open to her bedroom, and kind of similar thing to what you were talking about. There's like a 7-year-old, like a little girl, right? That's like peeking in through the crack in the door. And he's like, oh shit. This chick like lives with her family and shit. She's like in her 20s, but she like lived at home and she's got like younger siblings. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh fuck, So he's laying there, his clothes, his shoes, everything's on the floor. She's passed the fuck out next to him, still like snoring away. And then the girl opens the door more and like comes in for a second. And he's like, hey, like, and then she fucking runs, dude, she runs back out and says to somebody, he can hear it. She goes like, hey, there's a man in there. Right. And I guess it was like her younger, I don't know how much younger or whatever, but it was a older than the girl. This is like a teenager or a guy in his early 20s. This is like the girl's brother, right? Who's a lot older. He pokes his head in the room, sees this dude in the bed, you know what I mean? Obviously he knows what went on, and he just goes like, it just fucking gives a look like, oh, there's a guy in there, you know what I mean? And he closes the door and says like, don't go in there. And he's like, fuck, like, what am I doing, dude? I got to get out of here, So then he starts putting all this stuff on, puts his shoes on, puts his clothes on, and he realizes, holy fuck, dude, I have to take a dump. Like I have to take a mean shit right now, right? Like, holy fuck, like all the alcohol, all the food last night's catching up with him. So he's like, dude, I gotta fucking shit. Where am I gonna? So there's no bathroom in the bedroom. He's like, I have to go outside of this girl's room. So he goes out there because he's like desperately needs to go to the bathroom. And he sees a bathroom in the hall, right? Which is probably just like the main bathroom in the house. He goes in there, like takes a fucking drunk, hungover fucking shit right in this bathroom. And I guess there was no window, there was no fan. He's like, it's the craziest thing I've seen. It's like a bathroom in a house, but there was no window, no ventilation, right? Mm-hmm. So there's nothing he could do. He said, I don't even think he said there was any spray or anything. So he takes this big vicious dump, and then he leaves the bathroom and comes out, closes the door, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking leave. Like, I'm gonna get out of here. Like, this is awkward. And he has to go through he doesn't know where he's going. So he ends up walking out to what's the living room. And like the girl's parents are sitting there like, oh, hello. And he's like, hey, in this fucking like just disheveled suit. Yeah. Just looking for the door. And they're like, hey, are you Christine's friend or whatever the fuck her name was? And he's just like, yeah. And he's like, dude, the fucking smell is creeping from the bathroom now. And like, I'm talking to this girl's parents. And then like, he's like, well, I gotta get going. And he just fucking leaves. It's like so awkward, dude.
That's brutal.
And then obviously these people are going to realize, oh, this guy like hooked up with our daughter and then took a shit and then left. That's got to be so fucking awkward. Like when he was telling me that story, it didn't even happen to me, and I was sitting there like, I felt anxiety just hearing it, dude. That shit was so fucking awkward.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
So awkward. That's the one that pops in my head right now. But you know, obviously the problem with, I think, the tough thing about recapping drug experiences and shit you did when you were really fucked up or high, you were fucked up, so like you only remember so much of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's the challenge, you know. I think a lot of it's like things that people tell you happened after, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, other than that, we're fucking we're at the time, dude. We're at an hour. But you got anything coming up that you want to plug?
Yeah, I believe I'll be on a show in Jacksboro. Wayne Morris got me on a show on the 11th, February 11th. And I believe
Where's that going to be at?
It's in Jacksboro, so it's like
You don't know what the name of it is or whatever?
no, I don't. Forget what it was called.
Okay.
But I just found out about it, and I'm not even sure I'm on it. But then the 28th at Bear Creek Bistro in Fort Worth for the Rudy Ramsey show. Should be on that one. So,
Hell yeah, dude.
and I don't know when this will be put out, but this next coming Sunday, I believe.
This should come out tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I believe this next Sunday at Chocolate Secrets at 5, I will be featuring for Ali Naziri, the blind comedian, doing my first 15-minute feature.
Bam.
So
Done, dude.
should
That's
be this
fucking
Sunday or
awesome.
next Sunday. So
Hell yeah. So that's going to be coming up this weekend, folks. But yeah, so for me, I got I'm going to be in fucking Missouri for this fucking it's at the what's called the Cotton Patch in like Rolla, Missouri. I'm doing a show there. I'm doing a set. So that's fucking way out of state. That's way the fuck out there.
traveling
So
comedian,
far.
road comic now.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun, dude. Either way, you know what I mean. But it's gonna be way the fuck out there. I'll be doing that on February 4th, Friday, February 4th at the Cotton Patch in Rolla, Missouri. Way the fuck out there. Hopefully, I make it back in one piece. Hopefully, I survive. Hopefully, I know where I am and I don't get lost and I don't get stranded. I hope to God. And then right after that, the night after that, February 5th, I got a show right over here, just south of Fort Worth, Texas, boy, in Burleson at what's called MacGyver's in Burleson. So check that out. That's the night after. That's February 5th, a Saturday. I'm gonna be plugging that one a couple more times. But yeah, man, I'll be doing that. So that's what I got coming up for now. But yeah, man, other than that, dude.
Appreciate you having me out.
Dude,
I
yeah, you
enjoyed
got to
it.
come
Anytime.
back.
Yeah.
You're one of my first guests with like the multi-camera thing. So,
Follow me, Zach Stanktoe Robbins on Instagram if you want to see these shows.
fuck yeah,
And
dude.
pictures of my dog.
And pictures of the dog. Well, dude, thanks a lot for coming by,
Anytime,
dude.
man.
And in the meantime, as always, thank you so much for everybody that's listening and tuning in. If you just listen, that's totally fine. But we did start the YouTube section of the podcast, so tune in, watch, like, subscribe. If you want to watch the video portion of it, we got that
Click
in
that
full
button.
effect going. Yep. Smash that like button, all that good shit. And otherwise, we'll see you next time. Crux Nation, Crux, yeah.
Crux, yeah.
Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah podcast.
Crux proper.
You a clout chasing faking ass industry dick swallower. I can give a fuck about you and your fake followers. Posting on your story in your daddy's Porsche. You flashing fans, let your parents cash out.